Ever wondered how fishermen catch the ocean's sneakiest creature, the octopus, with its 8 arms and ninja-like camouflage? It's a thrilling chase that blends ancient tricks with modern know-how, and it's happening right now in coastal waters worldwide. Welcome to Back to the Barn, where today we're diving deep into the wild world of octopus fishing. I'm so excited to share this adventure with you. It's a story of skill, patience, and the sea. If you're amazed by the ocean's mysteries, like this video, drop a comment about your favorite sea creature and subscribe for more incredible journeys. Let's set the scene. The sun's barely up, painting the horizon gold, and a small boat bobs gently on the waves. That's where our story begins, with fishermen gearing up to hunt one of the smartest critters in the ocean, the octopus. These creatures aren't just your average catch. With their ability to change color, squeeze through tiny gaps, and even outsmart predators, octopuses are the Houdinis of the sea. But they're also a prized delicacy, loved in dishes from Japanese takoyaki to Mediterranean grilled octopus. In the U.S. alone, we harvest around 10,000 tons of octopus each year, mostly from the Pacific Northwest and Gulf of Mexico. Globally, that number skyrockets to over 400,000 tons, with countries like Japan, Spain, and Morocco leading the charge. So how do you catch something that's basically a living puzzle? Let's break it down. First off, octopuses aren't your typical fish. They're cephalopod mollusks, which means they're more closely related to squid and cuttlefish than to a tuna or salmon. They've got no bones, a beak like a parrot, and 3 hearts pumping blue copper-based blood. They live in rocky crevices, coral reefs, or even sandy ocean floors, anywhere they can hide and hunt for crabs, shrimp, and small fish. That makes them tricky to find. Fishermen need to know their habits inside out. Octopuses are nocturnal, so many fishers head out at dawn or dusk when these creatures are most active, creeping out of their dens to forage. Knowing where to look is half the battle. Rocky coastal waters, about 10 to 50 meters deep, are prime octopus territory. Now let's talk about the gear. Traditional octopus fishing often uses simple tools, but they're genius in their design. One of the oldest methods is the octopus pot, a clay or plastic trap shaped like a vase with a narrow opening. Fishermen bait these pots with crab or fish, then sink them to the ocean floor, often tying dozens of them to a long line. Octopuses, being curious and always on the hunt for a cozy hideout, slip inside to nab the bait and get stuck. It plays on their natural instincts. They love tight spaces where they can feel safe. After a few hours, the fishermen haul up the line, and with any luck, they've got an octopus in every pot. It's low-tech, but incredibly effective, especially in places like Japan and the Mediterranean, where this method has been used for centuries. But not all octopus fishing is so old school. In the U.S., especially in places like Alaska, some fishermen use trawling nets to scoop up octopuses on a larger scale. These nets are dragged along the ocean floor, catching everything in their path, octopuses included. It's efficient for big hauls, but it's not without controversy. Trawling can damage delicate habitats like coral reefs and scoop up other sea life, known as bycatch, which often gets tossed back dead. That's why many fishers and regulators are pushing for more sustainable methods. In fact, the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch program rates most U.S. octopus fisheries as good alternatives but encourages better practices to protect the ocean floor. It's a reminder that fishing isn't just about the catch, it's about keeping the sea healthy for the future. Another method gaining traction is handline fishing, which is exactly what it sounds like, using a single line with a baited hook. Some fishermen attach a shiny lure, like a fake crab, to trick the octopus into grabbing it. Once it latches on with its arms, the fisher feels the tug and slowly reels it in. It takes skill to keep the octopus from slipping off, since they can detach an arm in a pinch and regrow it later. This method's more selective than trawling, meaning less bycatch, and it's often used by smaller boats in coastal waters. I've talked to fishermen who swear by it. They say there's nothing like the thrill of feeling an octopus fight on the line, like a tug-of-war with a sea monster. Let's not forget the divers, some of the bravest folks in the game. In places like Hawaii, divers freedive or use scuba gear to hunt octopuses by hand. They swim down to rocky reefs, peering into crevices for a glimpse of those telltale arms or a flicker of color change. When they spot one, they might use a spear to pin it or just grab it with gloved hands, wrestling it out of its den. It's risky. Octopuses can ink you, bite with their beak, or wrap you in a slimy hug. Timing is everything in octopus fishing. These creatures breed year-round, but peak seasons vary by region. In the Pacific Northwest, spring and fall are prime time, when octopuses are fattest and most active. Fishermen also watch the tides. Low tide exposes more of the rocky shorelines where octopuses hide, making it easier to spot them or set traps. Weather plays a role too. A stormy day might keep boats docked, but it can also stir up the ocean, pushing octopuses closer to shore in search of food. It's a dance with nature, and fishermen have to stay on their toes. One thing I love about octopus fishing is how it connects us to the past. Those clay pots I mentioned, they've been used since ancient Greece. Archaeologists have found them in shipwrecks dating back thousands of years. Today's fishermen might use plastic versions, but the idea is the same. Work with the octopus's instincts, not against them. It's a reminder that sometimes the old ways are the best ways, even in a world of GPS and high-tech nets. That blend of tradition and innovation is what makes this fishery so fascinating. But it's not all smooth sailing. Octopuses are smart, scary smart. They can unscrew jars, mimic other animals, and even escape from fishing traps. I've heard stories of fishermen pulling up a pot only to find it empty, with the bait gone and a smug octopus nowhere in sight. That intelligence makes them a challenge, but also a species we need to respect. Overfishing is a real concern. Octopuses reproduce quickly, but heavy harvesting can still hurt populations, especially if we take too many before they spawn. That's why quotas and regulations are so important, like the ones in the U.S. that limit catches and protect breeding grounds. So as the sun climbs higher and our fishermen head back to shore with their haul, we're just getting started on this journey. We've covered the basics of octopus fishing, the gear, the methods, and the challenges. But there's so much more to explore. These aren't just slippery catches, they're marvels of nature. An octopus has 3 hearts, pumping oxygen-rich blue blood thanks to copper instead of iron, which lets it thrive in low oxygen depths. Its brain is a powerhouse, with 2/3 of its neurons spread across its arms, giving each tentacle a mind of its own. That's why you'll see an octopus reaching for food or unscrewing a jar with eerie precision. They can change color to blend into their surroundings. Think reddish-brown on coral or sandy beige on the ocean floor, using special cells called chromatophores. It's like having a built-in invisibility cloak. This camouflage helps them hide from predators and stalk prey like crabs and shrimp, but it also makes them tough for fishermen to spot. Octopuses are solitary by nature, staking out their own dens in rocky crevices or under coral ledges. They're territorial too, defending their space with a squirt of ink if threatened, a black cloud that confuses predators and gives them a getaway. Their lifespan is short but intense, usually 1 to 2 years for most species, like the common octopus, Octopus vulgaris. Females lay thousands of eggs, up to 150,000 in a single clutch, then guard them fiercely, often starving themselves until they hatch. It's a heartbreaking dedication, and once the babies are born, the mother dies, leaving the tiny hatchlings to fend for themselves in the open sea. Males aren't much better off. After mating, they often fade away soon after. It's a wild life cycle that keeps their populations in check, but also makes sustainable fishing a priority.